Good morning, OBBC. I hope you're having a great morning. Now, the past few weeks have been very different for a lot of us. And I know that as you're home more often, the kids are home from school, you're together a lot, you've probably found that people can be difficult to love, right? When you spend that much time with the same people over and over, relationships can be strained and love can be something that's difficult to show to others. And this is true not just about times like this, but in general. A lot of times we find that people are hard to love. And if we're honest with ourselves, a lot of times we're hard to love. Now, I know if you ask Heather, she would never say that about me, but I am gonna guess that it's probably true. A lot of times I'm a difficult person to love. But you know what? As Christians, we're supposed to be characterized by love. In fact, the greatest commandment is to love God with all your heart and to love others as yourself. This is something that should be a part of our lives as believers. So this morning, we're going to take a little time and talk about love. If you'll look with me at Philippians chapter 1, verse 9, Paul writes to the church in Philippi, and he says this: I pray that your love will overflow more and more, and that you will keep on growing in knowledge and understanding. Here, Paul is praying for the church at Philippi, and this is our prayer as pastors for you, and not just for you, but for ourselves as well. We all ought to be focusing on growing in our love and how we love other people. See, Paul's encouraging the church to love others more. He uses this word overflow, and it gives the idea that the love that we show to others comes from within us. It's not something that we can just do an action and that's love. It has to come from who we are. So that means that we have to be loving people. We have to have that love inside of us for it to overflow, right? So we've talked a lot about this idea of a tree and the fruit on a tree, and showing love to others is the fruit that comes out of our own lives. And if love is the fruit of our tree, the root of the tree is our relationship with Christ. You see, we can't love other people in the way that God tells us to love other people if we don't have a strong relationship with Christ. If our root isn't deep and healthy, then that love builds up inside of us and overflows to others. So how does this love increase in us? So the verse tells us there, we see it says that we're to grow in knowledge and understanding. Knowledge and understanding are so important to how we love other people. You know, love is not something that is just a feeling. A lot of times our world makes it seem like that we can't help who we love. It just is something that we feel inside of us. But the Bible doesn't describe love in that way. Love is not a feeling, it's a choice or a decision that we make. We don't show love based on what we feel, but on what we know. And there's perhaps no better example that we see in Scripture than in the next chapter, Philippians 2, of Christ. How much He loved us and how His love for us led Him to the point of death on a cross. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man gives his life for his friend. You know, Philippians 2 shows us how we ought to love using Christ as the example. And our knowledge of Christ helps us to love other people. And in the word there, understanding, it can also be a depth of insight, an insight on how to help other people. That's crucial for us to love others. We have to know their needs and how we can help them. It's like I read compared to a doctor. How can a doctor help people if he doesn't know how to diagnose what's wrong with them? And we as Christians have to have an eye always looking for needs in other people so that we can meet those needs and show them the love of Christ. So it's my prayer for you and my prayer for myself this morning that we can really understand what real love is and that we might be overflowing in our love to others as we are at home, as we interact with people at work, as we interact with our kids, our friends, that we would show them true biblical love, the type of love that Christ has shown for us. I hope you have a wonderful day today, and I hope that I see you soon.